Dave Attell's performing at Caroline's in New York City Wednesday, December 28th to Friday, December 30th.
Yes. End of the year.
End of the year. This is a tradition for you, right?
It is.
Yeah.
This is my, I would say it would be kind of a fist bump or a long hug with the city.
Oh, that's nice. I like the idea of that. Jay, you said years ago you did this back in the drinking days, and it almost killed you.
Yes.
Oh, it was the best time of the year. I look forward to it so much.
Yeah.
Everyone, Dave, you can only party with so many people, so there was so much spillover hang.
Yeah, Jay, how long did you really open for me? Because you are a killer headliner now. I don't even remember really how long you actually worked with me as a.
It hurts my feelings. It was 8 years, Dave.
Really?
No. I know. I know it was a long time. I didn't know how many years it was.
Oh yeah,
I'm
about
sorry.
8 years. Yeah,
I remember you, Jay. Yeah, you look familiar.
Your guy, remember Virginia Beach? Remember we did Virginia Beach? Something in Phoenix.
But I think December is always a brown liquor month. You know what I mean? It always has been for me. It's like I don't want to sit around and have a beer like a child.
a
You know what I
whiskey-
mean?
whiskey
It
time
is
of
a
year.
very whiskey. And in my neighborhood, Irish whiskey was big, and everyone would just give each other Irish whiskey. It would just pass back and forth.
A bottle.
Yeah, bottles would I got you some Tullamore Dew. Really? Thank you very much. But also New Year's Eve used to be a brown whiskey night where you would go house to house in your neighborhood and everybody would give you shots.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a nice tradition.
See,
Yeah, it was a very nice tradition.
I've never been a whiskey guy, but what I would do with Dave in those days was Jaeger. Jaeger flowed like water
Yeah,
at
it
those
was a
shows.
time for Jaeger.
And we'd go on and I remember the end of the show was funny. Very early in the opening for Dave, he'd go at the end of the show. I had to learn this to have something in hand because he would go, Jay, come up here at the end of the show, especially these Caroline shows. Like, come on, we're going to do a shot with the audience here. And he'd have a Jaeger shot with no chaser, which is not my
it's
I can't do vodka without a chaser. I need everything I need, like right the taste of something else right behind it to mask the.
So you know it's good.
See, that's the weird thing.
And with Jaeger, just doing that shot and just like trying to keep a smile on my face. I'm like, I had a blast, Dave. With that black licorice flavor just all in my mouth. Like, oh God.
Yeah, Jay, when I first saw you, I was like, this guy's a drinker. Like, he's a big
Yeah,
guy. Look like a
right.
construction working kind of guy, but he's not a drinker at all. Like,
No.
like, what's your drink now? You drink a little bit, right?
Vodka.
Yeah, so
So
that's the
the
best
chill,
drink.
and it's got to be chill, ice cold. And I have to have like a Diet Coke right behind it.
But you know, the
You
last
drink it out of a teacup.
He's out. Espresso.
the last time I saw you at the stand, though, you did a couple shots before we went up on stage.
Yeah.
I was very surprised because it was a no edible night for you.
No, it's it was, yeah. I'll get a little loose with booze now. The thing was, I drove when I didn't live in the city. I drove
Yeah,
always.
same, yeah,
I never took public transportation in, so I never drank because I'm like, I don't get the point of doing. Like, hey, have a shot with me and a beer. I'm like, I don't. What's the point of that?
You want to have a lot of them.
I'm like, well, it's so gross that I'm like, if I'm gonna get a little loose from booze, let's do that, or let's just not drink
all
at
or
all.
nothing.
Yeah.
You know, when that whole drinking and driving thing, I just roll the dice. I don't care what anybody says. Let's just go. You know, I feel good about tonight. I feel like I'm going to make it most of the way there. Never was a big concern.
That was the weekend with you. Was I told the story on a bunch of like storytelling shows, but Nate Bargatze told me he would designate a drive that night, and Nate Bargatze's a hilarious comic, and he goes, "Yeah, I'll drive. I won't drink." And I'm like, "You sure? It's sort of a party this week." And it was always I did it with you for like 4 or 5 years in a row. We did the week between Christmas and New Year's, and Nate goes, he's like, "No, I promise I'll drive." And then when we were leaving, I just thought he was a little stumbly. I'm like, "Did you drink, Nate?" He's like, "I had like a beer earlier," but lying completely. He was drunk. He's swerving all over the road. It's terrifying. I'm too drunk to drive though. But I even considered it at one point. And then when we got to our block, we lived in a block that was like it seemed like it was a 90-degree angle hill straight up. We both lived in the same block in Queens. There was one spot open, and he parallel parked into it. It was in one motion he did it.
Wow.
I was so impressed. I fawned over it. I got out. I remember taking a loop around the car to talk about how amazing this parking job. I apologized for calling him drunk the whole time. And then I went upstairs, went to sleep, woke up in the morning to my ex-wife, like hit me. She hit me to wake me up. And she goes, "Why would you let Nate drive you home drunk?" I go, "No." I go, "No, you don't understand. I thought he was drunk too. I thought he was. But when we got in, you got to see this tiny little parking spot he weaved right into. She goes, "Yeah, no, I saw it." And then she drags me out to the balcony to look. The car was blocking the road. Like, no cars can go by. There's just people honking and people having to go around, like, backing up down the street and everything. It ruined the whole thing.
Well, you know who was in the back seat that night? Jesus. Because Nate is a religious cat.
Yeah.
Actually, no, it wasn't in the back
dude.
seat. A midget named Nick. That's a true story also.
So you're saying that a midget is Jesus? This is all new.
If he's going to come back,
new.
he's coming back.
news.
And he had a tiny little cross. He just had a little.
Oh, so cute.
They put him on a coat hanger.
They're so cute when they're little.
adorable
Yeah,
cross.
it's like a dog cross. Like when your dog dies, you make that little cross with popsicle sticks.
So let's see. This is the holiday time. So are
Yeah.
you guys going away or are you going to be here?
No, we're gonna be here.
Yep.
New York
Yeah.
at Christmas. Where else do you want to go? Florida? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I never got that. You know?
And do you guys go for the shopping or like what
No.
do you just hang out at
Don't
home?
do it. Yeah, just
Good
hang
for you.
out. Yeah, I don't. When the kids were little, you get a bunch of presents. But I think
Yeah.
adults don't make a big
A
deal of
handshake.
it.
I made too big of a deal last year because
Yeah.
I had family coming and they were we were doing Christmas at my house, so I
Yeah.
felt like really intense about it. And this year, I think I'm gonna be like, we're all adults. Let's just make it really
Yeah.
chill.
Are you going to do it at your house this year, though?
Yeah, I think we could do that
Oh, that's
again.
a long ride for me.
Oh.
All right, nice day.
Brooklyn.
And did you guys also Thanksgiving here or no?
No, we go to my parents' place down in Ches. That's the only time that my family has to be together is Thanksgiving.
Yeah. And how was the travel?
definitive. It's a nightmare. You
Yeah.
know, it's a nightmare.
So that's why I think we should, I guess, not do that anymore. I mean,
Yeah.
we should have 2 or 3 Thanksgivings a year where you can like make. If you made 1 or 2 of them, that would be great.
I think it's a great idea. It's like even a couple of Christmases. you
I
know?
think that's that's
Yeah.
a great way to go too.
Yeah.
And it'll be good for the economy. I mean, you
It
know.
is. It is great.
Hey, this election was all about new ideas, and there's 2 of them right there. Can I get it? Can I get in to see him? Just 5 minutes.
It looks like you
Kanye, Kanye.
It looks like he'd be glad to have you.
I think so.
And bring your opener of 8 years along with you.
I like that everyone's just lined up like he's the Wizard of Oz. They're
sure
just like
is.
He is.
ready for their request.
Just see this courage. That's what it is.
Well, Kanye, who is out of the hospital, and I
Yeah.
feel responsible because I prayed for him.
Yeah.
I did. Twitter told me to, and I got on my little knees. It's hard praying for a guy whose life is a million times better than yours, but I did it.
Isn't this what now Kim Kardashian says she's going to leave him, or is that just tabloid shit?
That was, I think that was tabloid stuff because I saw that and then it was debunked.
It was the
Yeah.
other Kardashian that's leaving Lamar.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's happening.
She actually got back with him, I think, though, slightly for a bit after he
Yeah.
almost died in a brothal on drugs.
right,
And she was
yeah.
like, well, it was a rough week for him.
She got back with him because she found out there was an extra 175 in his pocket. She wrote that out for a while.
He hit a nice steakhouse, and then she dumped him again.
That's it. It's over. It's done.
You know, it's playing with fire with those girls. You know what I'm saying?
You
I
know,
mean, they're heartbreakers.
yeah,
They are.
they crush men.
They do.
They
They really do.
crush.
The mom raised them that way. Let's go to the maker. She's
Right.
the maker, right?
Yeah.
She learned it from who was the guy, the judge? I mean, the lawyer, her husband,
Oh yeah, Kardashian. He was
Robert Kardashian.
Robert Kardashian.
Robert
yeah.
Kardashian. Yeah.
Yeah.
She, they probably like did that mind meld, and she has all that kind of like amazing,
Right.
skill.
But then I think her grandfather is Colonel Tom because she's
Really?
just running a fucking Presley bit, and she gets a piece of all the kids' money too.
Oh, yeah.
she
She's
should.
just- yeah, she's got to have a taste.
Didn't she like organize? Didn't one of those basketball players, was it Chris Humphries, didn't he say that like she organized their
Yeah.
relationship
Yeah, I
completely,
see
like
that.
to get him, like to get them in the
They
press more?
got a giant wedding,
Yeah.
on the E network.
And then it was over in like,
18
wasn't it
days.
short enough to
Yeah.
be like annulled?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
18 days.
It was like nothing.
yeah, but he was
Crazy.
7'2",
Yeah.
and you know what I mean. You can't stay.
He's
With
only half
Yeah,
black.
you can't-
That was the problem.
You can't
See.
be expected to.
him. Or else he'd be 14'4".
I hate to bring it down,
Yeah.
guys, but this year has been like we lost a lot of greats.
We have.
Let's face it, we lost a
Yeah.
lot of greats. Let's start with Shanling and
Yeah.
work our way to Henderson. I mean, we did.
Yeah.
There's a lot of greats. John Glenn. I think
John
you and I
Glenn,
all appreciate
yeah,
this.
unbelievable.
Jay and everybody, you
Yeah.
guys are too young to realize the
Yeah.
importance of John Glenn. He
Yeah.
really was like one of the last heroes.
He was a legitimate hero. Now, remember when he went up in space as an old man?
Yes.
I took the kids. We saw him take off,
Uh-huh.
and then we saw him come back.
Oh, you
So
did?
They, yeah, they have that. It's like St. Christopher Columbus.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Christopher Columbus of space, I like to call it.
Oh, who else just died? The guy. Was that your first story, your acid story you told on stage about the concert? Didn't Emerson and Lake both die this year?
Well, Emerson, I think, was last year. He killed himself.
Yeah.
And then Lake just died
Lake
from,
just
you
died.
know, yeah.
Wow, that's sad.
Drowned. The weird thing is Lake drowned. And that's.
Did he really?
No.
No.
Oh my God! I was gonna say. I thought it was cancer.
What an ironic, horrible death for Lake.
You know,
Palmer got slapped to death.
you know, they've brought up Gary Shandling, and when he passed away, I went and read everything like you do, and I went back and you were on that young comedian special with him, and what a lineup!
Let's
on
go
that.
through it.
Yeah,
Chappelle,
Yeah.
right? Louis C.K., me, a guy from Canada,
yeah, a guy from Canada.
who I think things didn't turn out well for him. But
Yeah,
yeah. So I think wasn't there somebody else big
yeah.
on
There's
it?
somebody else. I'm gonna give because he got a TV show. The dude got a TV show. He's like a Southern guy.
And then it fell
Oh,
apart.
Anthony Clark.
Anthony Clark.
Really?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
He's
So-
power act
That may have been the strongest.
of the young comedians.
Yeah, of
I
all
don't know
time.
about that. Really?
Yeah, I mean, you at least have to go back
it's pretty
to.
great.
Yeah, I mean that's a strong lineup.
Yeah. Look at the heat on that.
Yeah.
I mean, like Louis and Chappelle. I mean, awesome. But
They said Anthony Clark wasn't he like a heartthrobby guy at one point?
yeah, he was a
Yes,
huge
yeah.
college act too. Like
Yeah.
he like bought buildings off of his college money. He was doing so much work. He
Yeah.
really was like unfollowable. Like for like a couple of years in Boston for sure.
Sure,
He was a power act. He really was. And then he started doing that show.
it was like a Boston TV show, right? It was
I know
like-
he did one in L.A. where it was like My Two Dads. It was like
Yeah.
something like that. The family show. And then I guess he just wasn't on the road. That happens a lot with these guys. They
Right.
they build up to the sitcom and then they just stop.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the point, right?
Right.
I mean, we can go through a bunch of them. Tim Allen.
Mhm.
I assume he wasn't on the road the whole time he was on his first show.
Right.
Right.
Seinfeld went off the road really, except for a couple summer
Yeah, that's true.
gigs.
And Drew Carey, I know he would do some
Yeah.
stuff, but he really couldn't tour because he was always, doing something. So there's a bunch of guys like that. But
Well,
Pretty
you,
cool thing. Jay Leno stayed
Yeah.
doing the road.
Yes.
Through all of that, all those years.
but in a
of
private
Sunshine.
plane. Yeah, I mean, it was nice for him. But Shandling was another guy. I mean, he was a great stand-up.
absolutely.
Did two
Did you ever meet
back-to-back.
him?
No, I never did, but I was always a fan.
Fan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you doing that show, had you met him before?
No, he actually said something on the show where he goes, young comedian special, they don't seem so young to me. That was it. I met him like maybe 2 or 3 times, but
Yeah.
I didn't know him as well as I knew Kevin Meaney,
Right.
who I did meet a bunch of times, and I always felt bad for him,
Well,
because he was like he was a really talented guy. He's a theater guy, a musical guy. That's kind of what he ended up doing. But he was like there in the San Francisco, Boston scene in the
Right.
in the 80s.
yeah, the Boston guys were crushed.
They really did.
And people here because he did some shows here for a while. So,
What mean he was a heart attack?
yeah,
Yeah, he had a heart attack.
out of nowhere. And it was basically he had lost a ton of weight. He was looking better than he did in the 80s or 90s. And he was really up on life. And then, boom, gone.
It shows you just like if you can make comparisons just in terms of like jobs of like comedian versus astronaut. Now, John Glenn, 95 years old.
Right.
He was in the Korean War, right? Ted Williams was his wingman.
Right.
I read all this. It's not like I just know it. Test pilot.
Yeah.
He was in outer space. Aliens. Lights were in his eyes. Something happened to him. 95 years old. A comedian, like we're lucky if we can make it to like 55. Like
Yeah.
really, that is like 80 for us.
It's Waffle Houses. It's Waffle
You
Houses.
think it is?
I think travel itself is not the best thing for anyone. I think vacations are great, but business
Just
travel,
living on the
yeah.
road is
yes, never a comforting thing.
It's tough.
Yeah.
I agree with that because I hate traveling.
Yeah,
And like when Jay and I used to do the gigs, we were both, I mean, they were incredibly long drives, and Jay is like a monster driver. He's great, but still it was like way better than flying,
Why
like
this weekend? All flights coming. I was in Toronto Sunday. All flights for no reason. just canceled.
Right.
No reason. They had no explanation. Everyone blames everyone. Toronto blamed LaGuardia. LaGuardia blames Toronto. Expedia blamed both.
Did you
Nobody
try to
else
get
know.
to the bottom of it? Is that what happened? You were calling
Christine
around?
tried while I was
Yeah.
driving 9.5 hours
Oh, yeah,
in a
to
rental.
drive
I just
home.
did it. I was like, yeah, I'm fucking. I'm not going to sit.
Did you have trouble going through the border or no?
No, but man, those guys really take their job unnecessarily serious.
Good. Oh,
No, not good in the sense that I would have. If it was serious where he went through the car or just something like that, I would say it's good. They just like they hard ass you the whole time. Like,
Right.
yeah, what were you doing up here? It's like they talk to you like that, like
Right.
they're your enemy right away. Like I was doing shows. What's the problem? Are you angry at me? He goes, why don't you read the signs better next time? And I'm like, what sign? He's like, stop sign back there. You didn't stop at. I'm like, I was stopped. Like I waited for the car in front of me to like I don't know what you're saying. He's like,
Oh, don't talk back to them. Yeah.
but you're not even talking back. You're just like, I stopped at the stop. So I was like, yeah, well, next time just stop. A little, they just want to. Such a hard ass
Yeah,
thing.
but
Like, why are
Jay-
you my enemy?
Jay, you have a flash of blonde in your hair.
I had a
your
hat on.
cat's
I had a hat on that day.
being with me. They're like waving.
Yeah.
Come on through.
Don't even
Come on
stop.
through. Yes.
Just hang your passport out the window and be like, it's me. You're like, oh yeah, get in through.
I wonder
they-
how it's going to be once the new president gets in. Like, what will there be? Like another level of,
Security.
security? Yeah.
You have to
Well,
go
he
through?
wants to make the airports great again. I know that.
I hope he
Yeah,
does.
sure.
He was
because
very
they do
serious.
blow.
He's just like, our airports stink.
Well,
What's the
LaGuardia
what's the
does.
Like a
plan
huge
for it?
plan.
Yeah,
platform.
LaGuardia is awful.
Yeah.
But it is like all the New York airports was like a shot back in the '60s. You just
It's
feel
true.
like
Yeah.
you know what I mean. You're like, I didn't know they made chairs like this. This is great. I forgot this.
It's where you go. When we were in the airport in Burlington, Vermont, like most of the chairs are rocking chairs, which is bizarre.
Weird. Yeah.
Very weird. And then you go to, and it's very small. And, it's like you can see all 8 gates,
Yeah.
like from right when you walk in while you're waiting for security.
Yeah.
And then you get to like the last 2 times I went to JFK, while I try to avoid it so much, is from security checkpoint to my gate was a walk where that if I had my mother with me, we'd have to stop 4 times
That's true.
because her legs would start to hurt. It was
Mile and a half.
15 minutes of walking
Yeah.
to get to a gate. Why would it be that big? Possibly.
I like that where you're late and you just get through security and then you have that like mile walk and you're like dressing as you're running. I like that.
By the way, I saw I think there were snaps yesterday. You had something done on the bonfire, Jay.
Oh, the roll thing, yeah.
And I got a good look at your calves. You're in really great shape in the calves.
Wow.
Calves are
It's-
fantastic. They've been carrying
Calves are
around.
important.
You could break a stick over his calves.
Wow.
They've been,
I love that.
they've been carrying around a lot of weight all
Yeah.
my life. They're jacked.
The
My
calves don't get
calves?
enough attention, that's for sure.
Oh,
That was Keith the cop that just walked by, which means he's trying to put Opie and Anthony back together.
yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
Oh, that's who you
Yeah.
stopped by.
Remember
So
you,
some-
Keith, you were on his.
Yes.
You didn't even give him a wave, though, right?
I did.
Oh,
I
you
gave
did?
him
You gave him a
little-
short wave?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, hey, remember? Hey, remember?
He's trying to like Jimmy Carter, like he's trying to find a middle
Jimmy
ground.
Carter and bringing in Egypt and Israel, and then they killed the Egyptian. As soon as he signed the paper, went home, and was like, "There's," and that was it. They shot him right in the head. They said he talked to a Jew. That was basically
Yeah.
you just talked to a Jew. Of course, we had to kill you.
Kumi was supposed to come on Legion of Skanks tomorrow, and he canceled last minute. I don't know. Does that
Anthony?
mean something?
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Probably has to meet Trump. I mean, there's definitely a job for him in the new administration.
Or maybe you heard what happened. Or maybe you heard what happened on Legion of Skanks last week. Poor Ron.
Well,
you made the trek out one time, and that's what you got.
Well, here's the thing: both Trump and Anthony have had Twittered at the wrong fucking time. That's
Yeah.
their problem.
Yeah.
Do you use social media at all?
No, I hate it.
I don't do any of it.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
I also, I'm sick of people trying to talk me into it like they're trying to sell me a timeshare. It's like,
Right.
it's good. It gives you a chance. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
I don't really care. I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
You know, can I sit, can I just sit down? I don't want to talk about
Well,
it.
when people go, well, what if you think of something funny? I'll go, I'll say it the next day on the show.
Yeah,
that's
well,
what I'll
that's
do.
the
Right.
thing, yeah.
I'll
Well, when
come
you have
in
a
where I get
platform every day.
yeah, where I get paid for it,
Mm-hmm.
not giving away free tweets.
I think the problem is the feedback when you're just trying to be like fun, funny, jovial,
Right.
have
Yeah.
fun, and then someone comes back like, "You're the shittiest you fucking
Right.
suck dick."
Mhm.
Someone put out a meme last week
Mhm.
of me with a completely transcripted joke of yours. And,
Mine?
Yeah, and it goes, "This is Big Jokeson's best joke." I know they're being a jerk off, but I have to disclaim. I go, no, it is a great joke, but that's David Attell's joke. You got the wrong comic. And I was like, it's like, fuck you, man, because you're just ripping off his shit anyway. This guy's like, so I'm like, oh my God, man.
Well, I do tweet, and I did tweet that.
That was good.
You
That's
first
my
tweet in and out?
My only time. Intricate.
Are you MJ from the United Kingdom? Because I put him on my hit list.
It's all sleeper cells.
Jay, you are kind of a libtard, though. So I wanted you. I want to call you that.
That's fair.
You tree hugging, reusable
Libtard.
I don't know. I mean, people. I'm starting to get a little nervous about
about Trump.
Well, just about like this is never going to end in terms of like we're always going to be talking about it.
Right.
It's become like this new like speak, like almost like good timey speak.
Yeah.
Of like everybody just talking about it all the time, and it's like 4 years of that. That's going to be pretty rough. You know?
I've never felt the feeling like an election didn't end. You know
That's
how
true.
normally
That's
like
true.
it ends and then you go, oh well, this is the situation.
No.
It still feels like it's going on.
I-
It still feels like he's campaigning.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But here's the other thing, like with Stalin, when he would bug people's buildings and he found out that they weren't talking about him, he'd be furious. He would have people.
Really?
He goes, why aren't they talking about Stalin? I'm
Yeah.
doing so much shit.
Wow.
So I think Trump wants us, good, bad, and different, just talking about
Yeah, he
him.
likes the attention.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
But, you couldn't get more attention than his job. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's the...
which one are you talking about? The executive producer of The Apprentice or the runner of several hotels around? I mean, he's not giving up any
Yeah.
jobs.
No, that's true.
I've been watching all the end of the Obama administration documentaries
Mhm.
about Obama, just kind of combing through his whole thing. And they're not negative or anything, but I almost forget like how many people hated him. I mean, people hated Obama
Yeah.
as much as they hated Trump.
Well, right now he's
You
at
think
50,
so?
They hate Trump. Yeah,
he's at
absolutely.
57% approval rating, which
Yeah,
is
no, he.
pretty high. And people are going to remember him well.
Yes,
Sure.
yeah, he's
Because-
great. I like him.
Yeah. But it was also, he's got that Jackie Robinson thing. First black president, Jackie
Mm-hmm.
Robinson. I read all the books when I was a kid. You never read about him striking out. You know what I mean? You just read good stuff.
Mhm.
So I think he's going to be remembered well because people will only remember,
Yeah.
hey, we never had a black president before, so this is great.
Well, if it was Netflix, I'd give him 4 stars.
Oh,
That's all I'm gonna say.
that's good.
And I do believe that he will, Obama, who is very funny and like just super
Yeah.
classy and sophisticated, that he will down the road get a Netflix special. I do think so. Like, I'm looking maybe 35 million. He's got a rate higher than
Yeah.
Rock and those guys. I like how everybody has their number now on what Netflix is
Right.
paying. Did you hear Netflix is paying $100 million? Now I'm like,
Yeah.
it's like it's kind of ballsy for a whole to have that kind of cash and not
Yeah.
what should we do with it? Should we make another Star Wars franchise?
Right.
No. Let's just do a couple of comedy
couple of
specials.
But it's always like I've never seen that with comedy before. Comedy specials, like the multi-tiered deal.
Mhm.
It's like it's a $70 million deal. You got to do 2 specials. We're buying an old special you never released, and you're going to do a once a week talk show.
I didn't. Yeah, that's very cool that Netflix.
It's
can,
always,
like,
but it's like down the line shit. It's not even like, hey, we'll pay you this much for your special, and then we'll see how that does.
Yeah, well, the thing is now, anyone else who gets like $1 million will be like, this fucking
exactly.
blows.
Yeah, it blows it all out.
Shit, I just did an hour and you're giving me $1 million. Fuck you.
But don't you think it opens it up to like a whole other group of people who would want that kind of money? Like,
Sure.
like a George Clooney or something like that.
Yeah.
That's what they pay to be in a real movie. you
Yeah.
know? That's like amazing. I never thought comedy would be that huge. Like
No,
that,
it,
you know?
and it came out of nowhere.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It
exactly.
just came out of nowhere. And you're right. Like Clooney is probably saying, maybe I'll do an hour.
Get a couple of people writing
You know?
a couple of lines.
Yeah.
You know?
Because that's how they write books now, I mean, like
Mhm.
a lot of people who write books is because they say, we'll give you money to write the book. Not that somebody wanted to write a book. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, they're like, I'll give you $2 million to write a book.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
like-
true. It's never
and
like,
they're like,
hey, I have
"What?"
a story.
Oh,
And
it's
you know
happening.
that like
Yeah.
publishers are probably like, we need X amount of celebrity books each year.
Yeah.
Like, who do we have? It's like it doesn't really come out of a necessity. It's
No.
probably just like
No.
I never thought of it that way. Like,
No, none of those guys are like, I really need to write the.
Mhm.
I mean, Amy Schumer just wrote that book last year. They gave her a bunch of money. She's like nowhere near the end of the story where you would say, here's my life story.
Right.
You know what I mean? She's young, but somebody offers you a lot of money. You're like, fuck it. Yeah.
It's not even a very thick book if the last page ends with, and then I woke up today and had a cup of coffee. The
Yeah,
end.
right. I guess I'll figure it
I'm
out.
still in it.
They're doing. You've been to LA a zillion times, Dave, to know it's like it is weird though. how the celebrity will try to just jump over to stand up to make some money. Like I mean, I don't know. I've been on showcases out there where they're like, hey, we're gonna have to bump you back because Dak Shepard's gonna swing through and do some time. I'm like, Dak Shepard?
And then one of the Iron Chefs.
Yeah, right. Is he
Like,
cooking or
porn stars,
Yeah.
Playboy chicks at a time. Like they all just jump. It's like, well, I'll do this for a while and see if I can make some money and be on the road. So you say about George Clooney doing stand up, like probably not far from, probably not his caliber.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
he was just, because he's the ultimate actor. So,
No,
yeah.
absolutely. But I'm saying it wouldn't blow my mind if like a smaller, like lesser, if like a Paul Rudd eventually just starts like banging out some stand up sets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If you can make $20 million off doing an hour somebody else writes for him, that'd be pretty insane.
I just think, as we all know, and the listeners, of course, who are fans of comedy, they know that that's a very select group,
sure?
the $20 million club.
Yeah.
Down at the bottom end where I have to actually work the customer service line at Netflix. So what didn't you like about it? F you. Can I hang up on him?
Well, obviously, I'm going to open with my strongest material. And then there's a lull, and I finish fucking big. And this is a known way to be.
I would just like to see like when they try, because they try and explain to you this like a logarithm thing over there, because it's like the movie you like.
Right.
The movie you watch, like on a goof or you're drunk or something like that, that becomes like what they think you're about.
Yeah.
So Toy Story 2 and the girl with the green tattoo, whatever it is, that's what they'll like combine that together and come up with your whole you.
And they'll say it too. It'd be the weirdest movies. And it's like because you watched Loose Change documentary. It's like here's a weird horror about a werewolf.
Right.
What?
Maybe I like to go in a different direction tonight. Don't try to guess what I want.
They're never right.
I don't like the would you like to rewatch section. It's like, no,
yeah, that's
I don't.
Really?
That's sad.
You want to check this out again? Like, no.
That was just like a month ago.
Yeah. I mean, it's not Goodfellas where I can rewatch
I mean,
it.
I'm not a 6-year-old. I don't want to just keep watching the same movies over
What
and
is
over.
it about that a little kid will take a movie and watch it every day?
Yeah, why
Every
is
day.
that?
I had so many movies like that when I was little.
I
where
watched
I'm
The
like-
Lost Boys 8 times in one day when I was sick when I was a kid once. 8 times in a
Lost
row.
Boys was one of those movies that,
Yeah.
like, I could probably, if you turned it on, I could probably recite it.
Yeah, Roadhouse,
Yeah.
tons of times. Hard to Kill. Steven Seagal's Hard to Kill. Watched that a lot of times.
Now, Steven Seagal would be a good choice for like a Netflix special. I could see him
Yeah.
coming out there, and like I don't know if he's a 20 million guy, but I would say he's in the 5 million, 5 to 7.
I thought you were going to say Steven Seagal would be good for Secretary of Defense in Trump's
he would.
cabinet.
Not
Yeah.
bad. Not bad. He's tight with Russia.
Guy's kicking ass. The suggestions I've gotten on Amazon videos since that movie I told you to watch came on has been now everyone who's ever made their own movie in their own house
Right.
is now coming to me. Yeah, like,
But
check this out.
I heard you say on your show that you watch every horror movie that
on Amazon.
on Amazon provides.
Yeah,
What is
So
that?
that's how you found that?
Yes.
yeah, worth it.
A one-man movie, which is
So
A one-man movie.
only Tom Hanks, I think, right? Only
Yeah.
Tom Hanks.
Castaway, and
He-
Nigel Bach,
Yeah.
the creator, star, executive producer, editor of Bad Bad.
Bad.
What so you watched it on Amazon?
Yeah, I watched the movie on Amazon. It's a one-man horror, and the guy, I found out about 30 seconds into the movie that he's got a strong Philly accent. So it's a guy who made this movie himself, and it's just him fighting nobody for an entire movie, except just talking to a camera and not being afraid of a gun. It's a horror movie where the guy's never rattled for one moment. Philly
He's a
gets
tough
pissed off
guy.
at everything. Yeah. He's like, I guess there's some kind of altar now in my attic. He goes, let me get her. This is going to kill the resale value of this fucking house.
it's like, what is this shit, voodoo?
Yeah. Is this
He
voodoo?
does say that.
And one buddy goes, what do you want? This is my house now, not your home.
Amazon picked that up?
Yeah, Amazon.
No, apparently
is
found
right
it from the
$20 million
found
deal. $20 million deal.
No, at Amazon they pay you in. Do you want a beach blanket and 2 picnic chairs?
At Amazon, they pay you like your
Yeah.
the little kids candy sale thing. If
Here's
you
a
watch a movie, you
tactical
get a
flashlight.
bike. Yeah, a bike, a tent.
David Attell is going to be performing at Caroline's, New York City, Wednesday. December 28th to Friday, December 30th. Shows at 7:30 and 10 p.m. Jay,
It's the most fun week of comedy in the
yeah,
city.
and you've been doing this many years in a
so
row.
great.
Yeah.
Jay, you're going to be over for old time's sake?
I'd love for Jay to come by.
That would be really amazing.
I would love it. I can't follow Jay anymore. He's so good. But it would be great for bring him up.
What's the dates of it exactly? The 20...
Look, he's trying to get out of it.
Yeah.
Like I'm an old,
No.
like I'm an old relative.
28th to Friday, December 30th. 2 shows a night. What are you doing over that?
28th
time?
is, we live on the 29th. 28th Legion of Skanks.
Oh, I thought maybe you'd be like stuck in an airport somewhere. I'll probably be in Minneapolis,
I
St.
want
Paul's.
to.
Where are you going on the 29th?
American Comedy Company in San Diego.
Oh, that's gonna be fun.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm there for that weekend.
Bringing in the new year there, huh?
That's
Yeah.
a cool town. You've been there, right?
That is a cool town. It's too
Bring those-
gorgeous for me, though.
Yeah, bring those amazing calves of yours.
No shit.
Calves in that town are like law degrees. Like people look at them like, whoa! Someone put their time in. Whoa! Can I get a table after Dr. Calves over here sits down? Or do you sit down?
Those aren't calves. Those are cows. Now,
It's the most
It's like go ahead.
intimidated I've ever been walking out of a comedy club. It was great people watching, but every woman and guy was just amazing looking. Is the first time I ever told because Christine always tells me how she grew up with such issues of body issues and looks issues because of California and how everyone's so gorgeous in California. And I've been to LA 1,000 times, to San Fran. I'm like, yeah, it's fine. I guess like there's pretty people, there's average people. Ugly people. I went to, where that club happens to be is like the club nightclub district.
Yeah,
when you walk outside, everyone is like stunning.
absolutely.
It's a real mind fuck. You go there, it's like there's no point. I told Christine I'll never have to worry. I'll never cheat on her in San Diego. No one will have me. I couldn't fuck a guy if I wanted to.
I was going to say that.
I think you could.
I'll try. I'll get back to you on that. You know what?
Those calves?
With these calves, yeah. I could probably hold a guy up in the air really good with these calves.
That is definitely the tank. But there's also there's like a homeless problem down there. Have you been to that?
Oh,
part of
yeah, I
town?
have.
Okay.
I performed down
and
there
they're
in that area,
attractive
too.
That's another one where you're like walking down the street and then all of a sudden there's like a tent and then another tent and then a tent and then like you're like, I didn't get permission to come in here. Is Negan here? Negan.
Yeah, that's where they're all lining the streets.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they
Down there.
run that street and you're like, you
It's
need
pretty
like permission
crazy.
to walk down there.
If anyone needs me, I'll be bench pressing twinks down in the fucking gas lamp district.
To walk down the street, you have to pay a tax, and it's like a can of baby corn, and 2 cigarettes.
Tolls are just things they need. Gloves.
Did you bring any baby wipes? And we're looking at.
Someone should point out that we're not at the dystopian place yet. You know what I mean? Like, we'll all act
We're
like
not
that.
far,
Yeah.
but-
Yeah, do
Let's
you
wait
watch
till the bomb struck.
Do you watch any of these shows like Walking Dead or any of that?
I don't watch Walking Dead. I don't have a thing for that.
Uh-huh.
No. I
You
don't know
How
why.
about Westworld? Have you seen that one?
Westworld I was into in a big way.
I like Anthony Hopkins, and like,
Yeah.
people say like, the beauty of it is like, talking about. I think he's phoning it in, but his phoning it in is better than anybody's
That's true.
acting. Like he has
That's
that
true.
voice,
Yeah.
and it just like lulls you in,
Right.
Like he's he was in that Remains of the Day, right?
Yeah.
That Butler voice, like
Yeah.
that. He's just great. He's definitely of all the English, he's the one that I like the most.
But I'll tell you what, I've never had an English star walk in here that I didn't go, oh, no wonder this motherfucker's a star. Every
Yeah.
one of them.
Really,
And American actors come in, I don't know what I'm doing.
right.
But the English actors enter this room like they're entering a stage.
It's like the classically trained thing.
Yeah, they
thinker.
just come in and they take over, and we're all caught up in it. And then when they leave, we feel depressed.
yeah.
Who are some of the big English actors?
Ray Fiennes.
Loved him. Keep it going, Chris.
And Jeremy
Jeremy
Irons.
Irons
He was in
like,
here?
yeah.
So you
Jeremy
should- so you
Irons
just
came
mentioned that
in.
downstairs.
And opened the door, and he goes like this, run, and came walking to me, and I went, I think
Yeah.
I think he's the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
American actors don't have it at all. They're
We don't do
really
that.
difficult to talk to.
They make you feel like an ugly teenage girl. You're like, if he likes me, I like him. He loves me. No, he's my favorite
Yeah.
actor.
Well, can I
Yeah.
throw my reason why? Because you're exactly right. Is that have you seen their chat shows and what they have to go through?
Right.
You know, where like you have to sit in a chair that looks like a hand, and a guy comes out. A guy comes out and he's got like a sunflower around his face. I mean, like they go crazy over there. So
Yeah.
they're probably like, this is like nothing.
This
you
is
know?
nothing.
A Graham Norton show.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
It's quirky.
It's like we're gonna tickle you now, but we want you to read the Bible.
And the weird thing is, like, when you interview them, they just lock into your eyes too. Like
Yeah.
they're fucking
Classic
doing.
training.
They're doing scene work. Yeah.
I didn't know you had so many
Shows
English.
are so
Oh yeah, that's all I book. I only book English stars. I'm not interested in anyone else.
How about the English actresses? Because they're the ones that are always like, where they
Yeah.
play like the scamp or like
Right.
the gutter matron or whatever. And then
They do that.
Then they class it up. You know?
Yeah.
You got to call him Dame, though, no matter what their name is.
And
Dame
it's-
Isla Fisher.
Yeah, it's weird that we don't have that in show business over here, where you become something that you can carry around forever.
Oh, Trump will probably start naming somebody something.
Okay, that would be great if he
Like-
does. Then I'm glad he won.
Like American Nights. That's what you
yes,
want?
Yeah.
American Nights.
Sir Dave Attell. That's got a ring to
Oh, for
it.
him.
It's got a
that could
ring to it.
happen.
Well, you know how like there's always the he's a Kentucky colonel, like that
Yeah,
was always
right,
like a scary yet kind of like cool thing. I
Right.
think there really will be that kind of thing.
Ensign Kanye West. I like the ring of that.
I don't know, Ensign. You're going to start him now.
Yeah, I wonder who he will. You know, like when they give out the what will he give out? I guess the Iron Cross over at the
It'll
the
be
fatherland.
yeah. That's so funny if he just falls back into it. You know
Well-
what? They were onto something over there. We're going to pick it up from here.
I didn't know you had all
He isn't
these
like
English
Michael
people.
Caine, like a sir.
Oh, he's the best.
Yeah, he is the best.
Can I take it back? He really is.
Yeah.
And the women like Keira Knightley. Have you ever?
Yeah, they're
'Cause-
all bigger and better than us. And then the Australian actors are more macho
Yes.
than us now.
Mhm.
And then we just fucking, pretend that we're doing superheroes. We don't try to do the big movies.
So we always bring them in for like all the like crush parts. Like where it's
Right.
like, we need somebody who can really, it's like no offense, we need somebody who can.
Yeah,
do
somebody
this.
can come in
Have to bring
and
him,
carry this
fly him
shit.
over from England.
Have you
Yeah.
ever seen The Luckiest? Yeah, I always thought it was crazy. The guy, the star of Sons of Anarchy, like
He's English too.
no, he's
Yeah.
like he's a Australian.
They're
like,
all
you
awesome.
can't understand-
Anybody,
You
anybody.
can't
who's-
understand a word he says
Yeah.
normally.
And yet they can all do the accent.
The
Years
luck-
ago they couldn't.
Amazingly,
They crush it.
the luckiest woman in the world is the woman who's with. You talk about those alpha male, is like masculine guys. Hugh Jackman's wife.
Yeah.
It looks like he's walking around with his like mother's best friend.
Yeah, he
It's
did.
crazy.
He did the show.
I dare you to say that to his face.
I'll say
Yeah.
it right to his god. He doesn't have real claws.
He did the
Beat him with a
show.
surfboard.
Hugh
Tell him I
Jackman
said
came in
it.
here, and he did the show, but he came in with Sugar Ray Leonard. So I fucking totally ignored him for fucking 20 minutes. We're just talking. But Jackman jumped into it. He was just like, well, who else did you fight? Hagler? We just all hung up into it. And we got a hard out today, right?
Yes,
'Cause
we do.
Ope's coming in. David Tell, so great to see you, my
Thanks
friend.
for having me, man.
Caroline's, New York City. It's that yearly thing that he does. December
Get
28th
tickets.
to Friday, December 30th. 2 shows, 7:30, 10 p.m. It's the best show in New York all year. Thanks so much, my friend.
Thanks.
Big J, your year, buddy. What do you want to plug?
They said this New Year's Eve weekend. I'll be at American Comedy Company in San Diego with my calves. The weekend after that, I'll be in San Francisco at the Punchline doing that whole weekend there. So I got some fun,
Beauty.
That's going to be a great show. I would check.
some fun stuff on the horizon.
What a year for you, my friend.
Yeah.
What a
Fun
year for
one.
you.
Yeah, thank
It's
you.
your year, Jay.
All right. That's it. See you guys again in 1974.
Ladies and gentlemen, the evening is over.